That's smooth. That's smooth, baby. That's smooth. Yeah. All right, boys. And we back in this bitch. You heard me. It's your world. Back in a bitty, man. Let's talk about the R1 today, right? 5 things you need to know before you buy a liter bike. So, number 1, if you're coming from a 300, if you're coming from a 400, if you're coming from a 500, 600, let me tell you something. The weight difference between a liter bike and a 600 or 500 is very, very different. Holy shit, that was nice. Yeah, that's one thing you need to know about that. Like, the weight difference is gradually fucking different, okay? So the 600 might feel like it's a little lighter, a little nimble, a little easier. It is, 100%. A 1000 has a little bit more, it definitely has a little bit more weight to it. Definitely has a little bit more weight to it. And also too, when you're turning corners and shit, you'll feel a little bit different. You'll feel a little different in corners, like with engaging the clutch and stuff. And this will go into like number 2 of what I mean by like the difference between a liter bike and a 600 or 300, 400, 500, right? Number 2, the clutch to throttle ratio is a lot different. Like on 600s, 500s, 400s, they probably engage a lot more easier without having to give too much throttle. Whereas on a 1000, bro, you're gonna have to give throttle. I have a clip that I actually want to show you guys that happened when that was my first time riding a 1000. So his sprockets are like oh nope, that's not good. Okay, there we go. That's all right. It's all good. It's all good. It's a little bit different. Hold up. Okay. Long story short, I fucked myself up. The throttles engaged is a lot fucking different. You're gonna have to get more throttle because it's a 1000. That's just what it is, right? But yeah, the throttle's gonna engage a lot more different, okay? So you're gonna have to give way more throttle than you normally would when releasing the clutch and getting on the gas. Number 3, this might be a minor thing, but a lot of people don't know this when they're switching to liter bikes. Your gas consumption and gas prices will be a lot different. Whereas how much you would pay on a 600, 400, or 300, on a 1000, you're gonna be paying a tad bit more than you would normally would if you were on a smaller bike. 1000s obviously give more power, so with more power comes more gas burning, and also a bigger tank too. I think it's honestly just a bigger tank as well. I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a fucking complete expert on this shit, but I'm just giving you my 2 cents, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think the tank's also a little bit bigger, so it takes more gas than a 600 would. And also too, I know this might be an obvious thing, but every sport bike has to take 93, guys. Number 4, in first gear, you have way more miles per hour to go to versus you being on a 600. Where a 600 limits to about, I think what, you redline at like what, 45, maybe 50? Correct me if I'm wrong, once again, I could be wrong. Whereas on a 1000 you can probably do up to like, till I think like 75, 80, or maybe even a little bit more. It could be 75, 80, or 85 or something like that. In first gear. So there's another thing to be mindful of. Number 5, maintenance wise, personally, like me, I think maintenance wise, it's not too far off from like a 300 or 400 or 500 600 range bikes, but you want to put your best stuff in there, man. Like, you want to use your best brakes, you want to use, you know, best brake fluid, you want to use your best oil, like motor oil. Like I said, you can use any oil, you can use any, you know what I'm saying, like all the okay, like Maximus Pro, or like any of your regular ones, Mobile, who else has one? There's a couple of people who has one, but it's like, me personally, I think you should go probably with the best oil, which is like Motul, like the, I want to say the racing one, but you should change your oil mostly every 3,000 or 4,000 miles. I mean, you can make it stretch. You can make it stretch, but me personally, I wouldn't. Like, that's just me though. Like, I wouldn't make it stretch. That's just my opinion. I think you should honestly change your oil every 3K. I just met a random ride on the road, but hey, I think you should just honestly change your oil every 4K miles, 3 to 4K miles. It's just good for the engine, it's good for the lifetime of it, you know what I'm saying? And me personally, I feel like your bike will run a lot better, you'll have a lot less problems in the future. And yeah, like I said, that's just me though, bro. I change my oil very frequently. I don't play that shit about like these super sport bikes, because, you know, the super sport bike, you just want it to run in the best condition possible. They're like little babies. They're like little babies, so you want to treat them as such and just give them the best care possible. But yeah, that's pretty much like my 2 cents on the 5 most like important things for a sport bike. And this is basically like my 2 cents of like the 5 best things you should do for your leader bike, and making it the best you can, and maximizing your performance out of the bike. If you want like, you know, you want long results. So that's just me personally. Bikes are pretty built to last, especially if you get a Jap bike, any Japanese bike, you know, Kawasaki, Yamaha, Honda. Well, Japanese or Chinese is one of them, correct me if I'm wrong, but predominantly one of those bikes. Those are the bikes that are not going to ever really give you issues, you know? And that's what you want to look for when you're getting a bike. You just want a bike that's going to give you no issues. So that's my 2 cents on it. And like I said, if you guys agree and you like my 5, leave me some feedback in the comments. If I missed anything, you know, I'm human, I can miss stuff. Let me know what I missed, and I'm gonna be happy to read the comments and see what you guys' input is. Like I said, I tried my best. I gave you my top 5 advices when getting a leader bike, and I just hope that it can be beneficial towards you guys who are trying to get a leader bike. And if you got any questions also too, drop them in the comments. I'll be more than happy to try to answer them. You know, like I said, I'm not the most knowledgeable, but I've been riding for a little minute now, so I have some knowledge that I can give. I'm not a complete dumbass. If you guys have anything at all, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to respond. And if you guys can do me a favor, you see this thing right here? Smack this like button. See this thing right here? Subscribe. And let me know how I did. And I'm gonna catch you guys, man. It's your boy, Owen Avery. Peace.